But right now, we also want to hear from our friend Heath Brooks from over at Timberlake League and Brooks on this Monday.
Good to be here.
So we're excited to have you as
Absolutely.
always. And today we are going to talk about scams and the law. And this is such a hot topic because I feel like every week we're hearing about a different scam.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had a friend of mine just last week involving. You remember the PPP loans?
Right.
You know that people were getting. Well, got a phone call. Hey, look, you're about to be arrested because of a PPP loan. You need to pay us this money, and it's a scam that's being run right now with folks on the phone. Well, you know, how do you handle a situation where you have somebody call you? First thing you do, obviously, is you pick up the phone and you call the police.
Right.
Because the reality is that nobody is going to be asking you for money on the phone. If somebody asks you to pay them money on the phone, to go somewhere to give them money, anything like that, then it's not a situation where you need to do that. You need to call the police. And you know, there's some pretty significant fraud claims in civil laws that allow you to bring an action against those people.
So how, Heath, do we get the word out? Because two of the most popular scams we talk about right here on our newscast. One, a bail bond scheme. Somebody in your family's been arrested. You call somebody, pay their bond right now. Or your utilities are about to be cut off if you don't pay this bill right now. We tell people they don't call, they don't do business that way, but people still fall for it.
You know, the problem is it's the fear. It's the getting on the phone. It's the being aggressive with somebody. It's the you're about to, and it's the same sort of predators that prey on the same type of people. Never done anything wrong. Don't really have anything to worry about. No brushes with the law. And then they call them and they bully, you know, and they browbeat and they scare them. And when you have fear as a driver, a lot of times your ability to rationalize what's going on with you and try to deal with this situation, you end up, you know, losing your money and getting scammed. There are some situations though when you do get scammed, if you can find out who did it, then sometimes we can we can file claims against those people. We've been in situations where there's been a scam that has been going on, then those individuals get caught, and then we can file a fraud action, in a civil action against them in court, along with the criminal penalties.
I love that. So we actually, we had a text message and we actually have someone on the phone. Let's go ahead and get to the person who's on the phone right now, and then we'll get to this in a second. So go ahead. Good morning to you. Tell us your name and go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I was wanting to know what the landlord is responsible for in apartment buildings. It's about noise control. You have noisy neighbors. And you're supposed to be able to live in peace, and the landlord just says call the police, and I don't think that's fair. The landlord should be responsible for something. At least warning the other tenant that he needs to keep it down.
Okay. Well, so you got a landlord. You got somebody who's playing loud music or being loud late into the night.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got two different kind of situations here. One is you got a situation where there's actually city ordinances, and I don't know what city you live in, but there's a city and a Madison County ordinance dealing with how loud somebody can be at a particular time of night. So it can be a police issue where you call the police and they're violating that particular city ordinance. You can also have, with your apartment complex, a requirement in a contract that you cannot have loud music or loud noises after a certain amount of time. And if that tenant is violating that lease, then you can ask your landlord to enforce the lease. You may want to look at your own lease that you signed with your landlord to see if there's any noise restrictions in that lease. The other thing is that a landlord has a responsibility to maintain your residence in a habitable condition. And I think that there is some good argument to make that if somebody is being super loud significantly over and over again so that where you can't sleep at night, then that may be a situation where your apartment is no longer habitable. And so, what you would do in that scenario is you would write your landlord a letter and say, look, you have 7 days, give them a time amount, 14 days to correct this situation. Otherwise, I may have to break my lease. And that could be something you could do.
Yeah, it could. We don't have time. I was just going to ask about this question that we got here. So thank you to the person who sent this in a text message. We'll get to it next week, though. Yeah.
And of course, you can also always call our friends over at Timberlake and League and ask your question directly. You may just get our friend here on the phone himself
That's
to
right.
answer that question
Yeah.
for you.
Always happy to answer questions.
I love it. And you can always go to the blog right there
Yep.
to get answers to any frequently asked questions as well.
Well, Heath, it's nice to have you with us, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.